My name is Shiva Singh from SR Technologies, and I'm excited to tell you about our new ergonomic N95. You can see it in the upper picture, and it's near dear competitor in the lower, and the difference is fog versus fog-free. Now, we've all been familiar with this with COVID, but I want you to take a minute to think about the hospitals, the doctors and the nurses that have to wear this every day, all day. And then those problems really become apparent. The problem is that the masks don't work. And this is a $3 billion problem in the US. We all know these issues. Your ears hurt, it's hot, your glasses fog, and it's hard to breathe. And this is a design issue, ultimately. And really the worst of this is that the glasses fog. That means that it's leaking, and whatever you're trying to keep out is coming in, and whatever you're trying to keep in is coming out. What's the solution? We came up with the ergonomic N95. It's a patented technology that has 70% less CO2 than the normal one, has no fogging glasses, meaning a higher level of protection, and uniquely, it moves to fit you. You can see in this figure here. The total market size, going back to this, in the US is about 3.5 billion. The medical market is about 300 million, and then the share of the market is about 50. We're planning to straddle the competitive landscape between the safety and the comfort, which our customers primarily look for. Because we represent the best, because you can move and you can be safe, we're pricing at $3 per mask, but we're still in the finding out. And right now, with our current production, it would probably cost about 83 cents per mask. Our initial sales structure is to find a hospital champion. We're looking at UF or Shands or Mayo. We want to talk to the safety directors, the head nurses, the people who are concerned with the people who have to wear these masks. And from there, we plan to sell 40,000 masks per hospital and enter 400 hospitals. We also plan to start in Florida and then license outside of the US. For traction, we've done initial third-party tests. We've created a draft quality manual, and we've patented in the US, Canada, and Australia. We've also gone through a number of business development programs. For fundraising, we're looking for $100,000 to prove the value. We anticipate this would take about 6 months, and the goal of this would be FDA approval and then a higher level prototype or product where we could actually begin selling. The managerial team, there's myself, there's Akash Kajar, there's Shiv Kumar Murthy, and our mentor, Michael Judith. We all have very technical backgrounds, and so we're very excited about this product. And with that, I would like to thank you guys for your time. Again, this is SR Technologies with the ergonomic N95. Helping you breathe easy, breathe safe. Thank you.
Can you tell me more about the competitive landscape? I mean, you
Sure.
kind of talked a little bit about it, how COVID, we saw a lot of incumbents create more masks. We saw, new masks coming in. So can you just talk to the competitive landscape and how it's adapting and what it's like now?
So, oddly enough, it's very similar to how it was pre-COVID. And there have been some innovations, there's some new competitors to the field. Actually, some government agencies have been pushing for larger or better masks, of course, but they've all fallen short. The last one that was really significant was the origami mask, which offered a similar value proposition, but it was $50 per mask, and they couldn't get FDA approval. The current one that's coming is the Milwaukee N95, and that's about $6, I believe, per mask. But that being said, given some of the design characteristics of that mask, I'm not sure if it'd be applicable for a hospital setting. And then other than that, there's just small pop-ups here and there, but nothing that's really stuck, if that makes sense.
Since you went through the I-Corps and all these programs, I know that you've done quite some customer discovery, correct? And in those customer discovery events, have you heard from your potential customers in the healthcare setting in particular,
Yes.
explicitly how often they would change the standard, cheaper mask to go to a higher priced mask, so that they are showing that they're willing to spend more money on that particular side?
So I haven't heard so much about them switching the standards of masks that they want. I've heard them being uncomfortable with the masks that they wear. Some of them, I'm trying to remember the specific stories for whom, but some of them, I remember some of the texts were saying that they would hold their breath while wearing the masks. I remember talking to some nurses that would say, you know, sometimes I can't see because the glasses are fogging, and so I'll either take off my glasses or wear contacts, and one of those is more terrifying than the other. We've heard of nurses spraying antiperspirant on their face so that they can mitigate that heat. I've heard of doctors taping the sides of the mask. So we've heard of a lot of modifications. I don't know if we've seen too many, okay, we will take higher end options, but they want something that works, ultimately at the end of the day.
I'm not familiar with the regulatory process for approval. Could you just give me a little bit of insight into that?
So all of that falls under what would be the CFR 42. That is the FDA, well, it's the Government Code of Federal Regulations. Under the FDA, it would go to the FDA, sent to the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. From there, they would assess your test results, your third-party test results, your quality manual, and then a final audit. And then from there, they would give you the approval or the disapproval. And that usually takes, I believe, 2 to 6 months, and it's usually $25,000 to $45,000.
Hospitals, doctors, nurses, those general public, have you had any engagement with the general public?
We have, but we're more aiming for people who have to wear this on for an extended period of time. General population, when they're like, oh, I'm wearing it because I have to, or I'm wearing it because someone's forcing me, they're not going to adopt it as much as, okay, I'm dealing with like a sandblaster for an hour and I'm afraid of all of these particles.
Sure. For general public, if someone's taking care of an elderly or sick relative, would this be available to the general public as well, though? Okay.
We haven't found an upper limit to it. Our initial testing on that was our COO got it, put it on, ran on a treadmill for an hour, didn't have an issue. So I don't know if that answers your question fully.
You change your mask whenever, say, if you're working in the OR and you come out and you break scrub, you change your mask. So you need to know how many hours that it still is effective, the mask is. And that was just my question, because if you're talking $3 a mask and you end up going through in a 12-hour shift, how many? So.
Sure. Honestly, that would be fleshed out with the FDA testing. What they do is, I believe they have a particle filter where they check it. And so we'd need to do that formal testing before I give you a concrete answer on that. Any other questions? Oh, thank you. Thank you.